What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another breakdown where I will be showing you guys how you can make your first thousands of dollars profit following this easy and simple mechanical step-by-step strategy. Real quick before we start, I do have a Telegram community where I will be showing my trades before I take them, weekly market analysis, trade ideas, trade education, Q&As, etc. So if we start off on the daily time frame, we want to identify the market structure we are in. So you see price making lower lows and lower highs, followed by a new lower low, and it's now having its pullback. So everything in between this high and this low right here, we are still in a bearish market structure. Until price breaks below this low or this high to create a shift in market structure, we are still bearish. After we identify the market structure, we look for our impulse followed by a retracement. We see the impulse right here, all one color, breaking this structure right here. Normally we look for an impulse breaking the lowest point of the previous structure, but because we were already in a bearish market structure, there were also FOMC coming out and they were predicting that the dollar was going to be very strong. Still ended up taking this trade. So we have our impulse right here to the downside. The impulse is all one color, breaking the close of the previous structure, followed by a retracement of 2 daily candles minimum, and they are also all the same color. Now we go to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we will look for our support or resistance that could be of influence. If you look closely, you can see that this level of previously support got broken and has now turned into resistance. So right here you could see support, support, support. Right here we have the break of this strong support level. Price had a retest, now using it as resistance to continue the momentum to the downside. If we go back to the daily time frame, you can clearly see all these structure points lining up with this resistance level. We now want to draw our fib in the opposite direction of the retracement so that we can measure the distance of the new impulse. So we expect the lower high to start from around here and continue at least to the -27. On the 4 hour, as usually, we will wait for our break of this 61 level to follow by a retest to tap us into the trade, and then we can ride the trade till P. So right now you see that the price went higher. You can just adjust your fib from the highest point to the lowest point. We're still waiting on the break of the 61. Right here we have the break of the 61 level. That means we can place our order on the 61, or stop loss goes on the 88, or take profit goes on the -27. Now right here you see we have a bit of wicks. You could also place your stop loss above the 100, and your entry point, you have to adjust it to create a 1 to 3 minimum, and your take profit always stays the same. So you can either put it on the 61, or if you want to be protected by this structure high right here, you put it above the 100 level, and your entry, you just adjust it to create a 1 to 3 risk to reward. Right now we're waiting on the retest, and as you can see, we have now entered this trade. As soon as price breaks the 38 level, we can now move our stop loss from the 100 level to our entry level, and it now becomes a risk-free trade. So right now this trade is risk-free. Boom. As you can see, price ended up going all the way down here, smashed our TP and just continued. I didn't close my trade at the -27 because, as I explained earlier, there was FOMC, and the projection was that the dollar was going to be strong for a longer period of time. So that's why I ended up holding this trade for a 1 to 6 instead of a 1 to 3. So I ended up closing right here. And if I was to go back to the daily time frame, we can see this was the ultimate low of the previous structure. So the structure was looking like this: lower low, lower high, and this was the ultimate low. So if we would have to have a lower high more than likely price would come back and retest this lowest point. So I was expecting for price to go lower than this negative 27 and possibly retest this level right here. So that was why I ended up holding my trade because of the fundamentals. If price was to continue the trend, it will more than likely come back to retest this low right here. And this was my breakdown for a 1 to 6 using the same entry, same setup that I always use. But in this case, I just ended up holding for a longer period of time. I appreciate you staying with me, and I will see y'all in the next video.